Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a while since I've posted on YouTube. I thought I'd do a little update video of what's going on around here. And the news is we just bought a brand new 2023 Tesla Model X. Now this is the third Tesla Model X we've owned. We bought our first Model X in 2017, and we kept that 3 years and put it on over 50,000 miles. We bought our second Tesla Model X in October of 2021. And we put about 43,000 miles on that, and here we are 3 years later, and we just bought a brand new 2023 Model X. Well, a 3-year upgrade schedule tends to be a little bit hard on the pocketbook, but it sure satisfies the need to have the latest and greatest technology. Well, the original plan was to hold out for the Cybertruck, and as time has gone on, it looks like it's going to be later and later and later. It's probably going to be a while before they dish out enough of them that we'll get one here in northwest Wyoming. And then Tesla did something interesting. They dangled that incentive carrot in front of us. They offered a transfer of full self-driving from one vehicle to another vehicle. They dropped the price of the Tesla Model X's dramatically. The price reduction, plus the opportunity to transfer the full self-driving from our old vehicle to the new vehicle, was just too hard to resist. Well, this car is a great car, and I'm glad we made the swap, especially with the bargain that we got. And at the original price and without the offer to transfer the full self-driving, we probably wouldn't have made the jump. We probably just would have waited. But I've compiled a list of my likes and dislikes. And first of all, let's get the dislikes off the list first. One of the features that I miss from our other Model X's is the ability for the front doors to open by themselves. Now, these doors, they do pop open a few inches, but they don't fully open. And while that seems like a small thing, if you've never had a car where the door is fully open for you, it's almost like having a chauffeur open the door. Now, I know some people probably think that's a little hokey, but it's a feature that once you get used to, when that's taken away, it just seems like something that's missing. I think what I'm going to miss the most is when my wife is approaching the car. I just loved being able to pop that door fully open from her from the driver's seat. I can no longer do that now. It only pops open and she has to open the door herself. Another thing that I missed is the customization of the front display. Now, the front display on this car is really nice, but on our older cars, you have the ability to customize both the left side and the right side of that front display panel. You could monitor things like tire pressure, you could monitor your trip progress, you had an energy graph. There was a whole number of different displays that you could have on both the left side and the right side of the front display. There's virtually no customization on this, and very little information that's being displayed that you could display on the previous car. You know, the full self-driving aspect of it is probably a better display, but you're missing the metrics. And I really do miss having the trip meter there. You can't even find how far you've driven without deep diving into the main screen. A couple other things is with this model, we've lost a little bit of space in the front. It seems a little bit smaller. And also in what I refer to as the basement, which is underneath the floor in the back behind the 5-seat bench. There's a little hump in there now that didn't exist before, and so you've lost a little bit of storage space underneath that flat platform. Another thing that I've noticed is that the hum or the buzz that emanates from behind the central display is a little bit louder in this car than it was in our previous cars. And now, when you're driving, obviously you can't hear it. It's when you're stopped and the car is completely quiet. Maybe you're trying to take a nap at a rest stop or something. And one of the things that's been hard for me to get used to is the new central display, the horizontal display versus the vertical display on our previous cars. There's certainly some advantages and disadvantages to that. You know, if you're watching YouTube or playing a game, I assume the horizontal display is a much more preferable way to display the information. From my seating position, the steering wheel actually blocks the view of the lower left-hand corner of the display. And I have to kind of lean my head off to this side to be able to see what those menu items are. I don't know if the yoke steering wheel is a little bit smaller or maybe that's not obstructed. Now, it may be different if you're taller, if your seat's in a different place, but I'm 5'8", and this is a comfortable seating position for me. Now, let's talk about my likes. And believe me, my list of likes are a lot higher than my list of dislikes. I really do like the new interior styling. The new interior styling seems a lot more modern. It just seems more sophisticated. It seems more appropriate for the price of this car than what we had in our previous versions. The console is also a huge improvement. Of course, we have the wireless charging for the phones, and the armrest feels really good. There's a big deep pocket down in here. You can store lots of stuff. This tray is an accessory that I just recently bought. And they have a little drawer here for sunglasses and other stuff. And this is where the cup holders goes. And this pocket down here is just really deep. You can see I keep a first aid kit down there and all kinds of stuff. One of the first things I noticed on the drive home from the Tesla service station was how much better the visibility was off the front of the car. Now, I don't know all the different things that they implemented, whether the dash is lower or whether it's shorter. All I know is I can see the road in front of the car a lot easier than I could previously. One thing I've noticed is that the view out the back seems better than it was in our previous cars. You can see it right here. I don't know if it's less tinting. I don't know if they've changed the hatch in any way, shape, or form. But in my perception, the visibility is just better than it was in our previous cars. And one of the things that Julie noticed right off the bat was that the car cabin is just a lot quieter driving down the highway. Now, some of the highways out here in the west, the speed limit is 80 miles per hour. In our previous cars, anytime you were driving down the interstate at 80 miles an hour, there was enough wind noise that it was really difficult to listen to the radio or a podcast in the car. And we had really hoped that the new version would be quieter, and it absolutely is quieter. Now, I don't know how it compares as far as other luxury cars go, but I do know that this is the quietest Tesla of the three we've ever owned. They're also using dual layer glass on the side windows, and maybe they've put more insulation in the floor. I'm not quite exactly sure, but it just seems quieter. This car also has active noise cancellation. You can turn it on or turn it off. We tried it going down the highway. It does make a slight difference. It tends to take out some of the low rumble noise that we've noticed. It's not like night and day. It's not like putting on a set of noise canceling headphones. But whether it's on or it's off, irregardless, this car is just much quieter than our previous Model X. Another feature that this car had that our previous car didn't have is the ventilated seats. I've never had a car with ventilated seats. I wasn't quite sure what I'd think about it, but now that I've tried it out, I do really like that. I think that's a great feature. Interestingly enough, in the last 3 years, there hasn't been a single additional supercharger added in my state, and the distances between the superchargers are long. There's not a lot of superchargers off the major roads, and it still is very difficult to get to some locations. So range is a consideration, mostly in the wintertime. Now, one of our biggest concerns about trading in our previous car for this car was that the range on our Raven Model X was more than this new refresh Model X. Our EPA rated range for our Raven started out at 370 miles, and after we had driven at 43,000 miles, it had degraded down to 359 miles. Unfortunately, the new car we got is EPA rated range at 348, which is less. And for me, in the wintertime especially, range is everything. On the upside, this car is equipped with a heat pump, and I think when the temperatures in the 15 or 23 Fahrenheit range, I'm hoping that this car will actually give us more range than our previous car. And time will tell, so stay tuned. We'll see how well that works out this winter. Occasionally we'd have a problem in our previous car with the windows fogging up, even though the interior was warm. And it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to get air flowing across those areas to clear up the windows. I'm curious with this new vent system whether it's going to be better or it's going to be worse than our previous car. So stay tuned. We'll certainly give that a test this winter. We don't often carry passengers in the back seat, but it's nice to know now that they can control their own heating and cooling from their own display that's in the back. Now, one of the more controversial things about the new Model X versus our old Model X is the fact that Tesla has removed the turn signal stalk, the gear shift stalk, and all the stalks from the steering wheel, and now everything is controlled by buttons and scroll wheels on the surface of the steering wheel itself. Some people like it, some people hate it. I approached it with an open mind, but I can certainly say after almost 2,000 miles, I absolutely love it. There's a couple things that are a little bit of annoyance, but I'm fully trained with it now, and I'm fully used to where everything is. I absolutely love the way you can control the speed of your cruise control or full self-driving using the scroll wheel on the wheel versus using the stalk. I know a lot of people complain about the horn position. I can't even think in the last 20 years where I've even used my horn, so that's not an issue for me. You know, having the lights, having the wiper, having the turn signals, having the full self-driving control, all just basically within a thumb's reach of your hands on the steering wheel without having to move your hands from the steering wheel, I think is really a great thing. Now, we were quite fortunate. This Model X came with the new Matrix headlights, and I can say without any doubt that the new headlights are much better than the ones we had in our previous car. The line that defines between where the light is shining and where it's not, especially on low beams, it's well defined. Everything seems to be brighter. It's just a much better night driving experience. Well, I'm really looking forward to driving this car this winter, and it'll be fun to compare how it performs versus our previous cars. And I'm also looking forward to the new version 12 of the full self-driving suite. I haven't posted many videos on full self-driving. They're just, to my mind, there doesn't seem to be much that has changed over the last few months. But everybody says that the full self-driving 12 is a kind of a big rewrite, sort of a new way of implementing full self-driving with more AI built in. And the hope is that maybe this will be the version that will get us to a much better experience. When I get that later this year, or when it comes out, I'll be sure to do some tests, and I hope to post that. So stay tuned. Oh, and another thing, Tesla has reinstituted the referral program. And if you're in the market to buy a Tesla and you found this information useful, you can use my referral code. It's going to be down below. It'll give you a few perks and also send a few perks my way. That'd be greatly appreciated. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And until next time, be safe and be kind. Oh, and if you stay tuned, I'll throw in a few minutes of some bonus video that I've shot with my drone of the beautiful fall colors around here.